Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I wanted to record the intro for this to kind of talk about the PlayStation Portal and go through kind of a list of bullet points of some pros and cons and some questions people have asked. And hopefully it's not going to be too rambly. I'm going to try to edit this video to make it really concise and make sense. But yeah. And before everything gets kicked off here, I want to say thank you guys for everybody that's been tuning in and stuff. And it's been really, really helpful. The community we're building and all the questions that are getting answered in there by people that are trying to help. It's been awesome. It's really great to see, like we got a bunch of like old dads that are getting back into gaming that are like, that are really trying to build a fun, awesome community. So with that, I'm going to go through the list and hopefully we'll kind of answer some questions. If you have more questions, leave them in the comments below, and like this community I think is really helping build out and answer those questions as a group, and so far it's been a really great experience. So yeah, here we go. All right, question 1, what exactly is the PlayStation Portal? I get that a lot. PlayStation Portal is a streaming device. It is not a dedicated device, so there is no games that can be downloaded on here. You can't have apps, you can't have anything like that on here. This is only a streaming device. So keep that in mind if you're looking to get something like this. This is not a PlayStation Portal, or a PlayStation Portable. Like this isn't like a PS Vita. This is just a streaming device. And do you need a PS5 to use it? Yes, you do. You definitely need a PS5 to use it. But there has been something now called the cloud streaming, which has been out for about 14 weeks now, I want to say. So you can technically use this as a dedicated cloud streaming device, which it's not bad. If I'll hopefully launch into some B-roll of me playing some games like that. But yeah, you can do this as a cloud streaming device. So that is something that you can do. So here you go, cloud streaming. And it is able to be played that way. You're at the behest of, like the Netflix syndrome, right? Where it's like, okay, here's some things this week, here's some things next week. We're taking away all these games. So you only have this long to play them. So keep that in mind. Like you've got to deal with that if you are looking into this. So yes, you need a PS5 to play it, but you also don't right now. So yeah. A lot of people ask how to set it up. It's really super easy to set up. When you get this out of the box, like there's a QR code to scan, and then it'll let you set it up that, you connect to the Wi-Fi, make sure your PS5 is on the same Wi-Fi. And if your PS5 is on the same Wi-Fi, when you go into the settings, go to network, just like you're setting up any device over a Wi-Fi, you'll be good to go. One thing is the cloud streaming. You have to opt in for the cloud streaming. So there is a button over here. So when you go into the settings, make sure you click the settings, go into the cloud streaming beta, and you have to opt in for the beta. Okay, click that little button right there, pull back out, make sure you're all signed in, and you'll be good to go. And then you'll be able to have access to this massive library that is getting bigger. Well, I wouldn't say massive, but it's getting bigger. So yeah, you'll have access to all that. And the games are really great. They run really great. I'll throw some up here to play as well too. So another question I get all the time is, what kind of quality of streaming can I expect? So this is a weird question, or it's a weird answer, I guess, more or less. Sometimes, if you're cloud streaming, it's pretty solid all the time. Like, I haven't had many issues cloud streaming. Every now and then I have a micro stutter, but I've never been, at least since the updates when they increased the bit rates. They released this about 14 weeks ago, and I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after that, they increased the bit rate on them, and they made it a little bit more robust. So, I'll even have the game running here while I'm doing this video and just chattering. So the cloud streaming, really good. No issues really with the quality of the stream. It almost feels native even, or even less latency too than whenever you're remote playing. One of the things that I did do is I bought a PS5 Pro, mainly because like I started this channel, I wanted to help out other people that are into gaming or getting back into gaming, and I wanted to get more devices and things like that to kind of help test out and just talk with you guys about. So did get the PS5 Pro, did hardwire it. And my experience gaming on this thing is night and day different than what it was on a regular PS5 with a hardwire connection. Same house, same internet connection, same location. PS5, the regular one, I think if I was playing like 10 sessions, I would probably lose connection 3 or 4 out of the times, and then like 2 out of those 10 times would be like unplayable. Like I would not be able to play remote play. It would be down. It would not work. Like it would just be a terrible experience, and I wasn't gaming on the Portal that night. Since having the PS5 Pro hardwired, I've had no issues, and it's kind of like a no duh. Like it's more expensive. It better be better type of situation. It's more expensive by a long shot. which is ridiculous. But I have to admit, gaming on the PS5 Pro has been a much better experience in quality of not only on the Pro itself, but going up from a regular PS5. Like I feel like I wish that the PS5 Pro was what the PS5 was when it launched. So streaming from the PS5 Pro, night and day, 10 out of 10 times I'm streaming on there, I have no issues at all. If I do have one stutter, it's a stutter and it goes away. I've had no issues since using the PS5 Pro. Using it over Wi-Fi, I do think I tried that a few times, and it wasn't, I had no issues either. Like, it was pretty solid as there too. PS5 Pro, I believe, has Wi-Fi 7 built into it, if I'm not mistaken, whereas the PlayStation Portal only has Wi-Fi 5. So that is a weird caveat for a device that literally is only a streaming device. So kind of take that into consideration. Your internet is definitely a factor for this, though, is how good the streaming quality can be. So keep that in mind when you're buying this thing. Your experience may differ. If you've got a rough Wi-Fi connection or you just bad connections in your house for things like even your phone using Wi-Fi and things like that, for anytime like you're trying to stream videos, this might not be the device for you. So keep that in mind. But price-wise, it's pretty solid for an accessory. So I was saying earlier too in another video, these are $200 accessories right here. This is, the PS5 Pro DualSense Edge Midnight, or not Pro, sorry, but the DualSense Edge Pro controller, the Midnight Edition, $200 controller with a couple extra buttons, and it's growing on me. I'm not crazy about this one, but it is growing on me. Same thing. Here's the Xbox One. This is $200 controller, and you really don't get any access to anything more unless you're, sitting there playing at the house. This $200, and as a dad of 5 kids, 2 of which are very, very young twin boys that are just anyway, destroying everything in my life. Love them to death, but they drive me nuts. The end of the day, I just want to pick up something, and once they're in bed, and kind of get that like nostalgic, like, oh my gosh, I can game again. I can get lost in a game. I can pick up a game and just get into the world and enjoy it. Like, this is definitely worth it in my opinion. You could literally pick it up and go, this is cloud streaming even. So there's games that I don't want to spend money on that I'm not 100% sure on. Like, this is the device to use it on. Like, oh, cloud streaming, boom, it's in there. And you're playing. So, keep that in mind. Let me see. So there was some people have asked too, like, if they could use accessories on this thing. Like controllers or things like that. I've never tried connecting controllers to this. It might be possible. I really don't see why you would, though, because like this is like this is kind of like a solo player experience, and even when it comes to like shooters and things like that, if you want to like play like Fortnite or Marvel Rivals on this thing, you're really only playing it on you're playing by yourself. So I don't know why you connect controllers to this. It might be possible, but you're gonna probably have to do it through your PlayStation, so you're not gonna be able to cloud stream with like extra controllers to this thing, I don't think. So keep that in mind. There are some stuff though, like accessories. So one workaround I have to not having to use the Pulse earbuds and all the other crap like that is I have like these Logitech like really nice headphones that I have here that I really enjoy, and they're really great quality. But I just stick the dongle in the back of your PlayStation, and if you're remote playing games from your PlayStation, you could even do the cloud streaming games from your PlayStation, so that way you can get the audio through these things if you want to have like that headphone experience, or if you're playing with friends online and stuff like that. And I find that it's a pretty solid option. If you're trying to like just play the cloud streaming games and just connect to your, if you're on the road or something like that, and you want to have the audio going through here, you're going to have wired headphones. Like, that's what that jack is right there. You're going to have to do that. Like, it's going to have to just be the 3mm whatever audio jack, unfortunately, because Sony's trying to make a walled garden with their devices, and I can kind of understand for a giant billion-dollar corporation what they're trying to do. So they want to make sure that they're you're investing more into Sony's products, right? Let me know if you guys want to see those headphones and the earbuds or earbuds. I keep saying earbuds like a dog or something. If you want to see those, and if get my take on them, if they're worth it, I can grab the Midnight ones and see if they're even worth a damn. Honestly, I'm kind of on the fence about them. I feel like the earbuds might be the more interesting of the two, but I doubt the quality is going to be that great. But we can check those out. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see those, and I'll give you my 2 cents on them. A lot of people ask about battery life. It's fantastic. If you've never used a console to stream before, battery life is if you have like something like say a Steam Deck or a ROG Ally, battery life is always kind of like the paralyzing factor, like of like being able to want a game, but should I game a lot or this, that, and the other. Even streaming on this, like it cuts down my battery life lasts on this thing like 6 hours or something like that when I'm streaming. Same thing with this thing, you're getting 3 to 9 hours easily on this thing. If 3 hours, even if you're gaming hardcore gaming, like then it might burn through some more. But I usually play this like for about 2 to 3 hours at night, maybe at the most, whenever I am gaming on this thing, and it's like the battery I think maybe goes down 30-40% at the most if I'm like gaming like really intense games or like cloud streaming on here. Battery life is fantastic. So if you get that I can't think of the words like that paralyzing feeling of the battery, like you're gonna enjoy this thing. These things are great. Streaming devices are great for that thing. So what are the other things that people asking about games and how and the limitations on games that you can play? So streaming, man, it's hard to kind of put this in the words, but like so you don't have access to your digital, like the cloud library that you have. You don't have access to like digital games you've had. So if you've had a PlayStation Network account, like I've had for 10, 20 years, whatever the hell it's been at this point, and I've collected all those games, those monthly games. You don't have access to those, which is really weird that Sony hasn't given us access to those yet. So they might do that in a future update. You only have access to their cloud library that they have, and they're adding a lot more games to it, right? Like the Star Wars Jedi one is one that I've been wanting to play, and we can kind of go through the game library too and see. They're adding a lot more to it, but you're at the behest of Sony whenever they're adding games. So if they want to do the Netflix thing and be like, hey, these ones are leaving, so you're not going to be able to play them anymore, same thing with like Xbox does, then you're kind of stuck with that. So, you're kind of stuck with that, whatever their, curated library is of games. But they are adding a lot, so that is great, and there is a lot of new things to try. As far as your PlayStation 5 Pro, you're able to use everything on here. Like there's no real issues with anything like that you have on your. If you have it on your PS5, you can play it on here. There are some games that I'm running into that I don't know. There's not a lot of people talking about this, but I've noticed that there are some games that do have problems. Somebody asked me about, I think War Thunder was the one game they asked me about, and I wasn't able to get it on here via the cloud streaming. I tried it streaming from the PS5 Pro as well, and it wouldn't launch. It said it wasn't allowed to be launched. You couldn't stream it. So there might be some live service games or some games that are like, running through other parties, like, that might have those problems on here. So keep that in mind. If you're looking for a specific game and you're dumping like, hundreds or thousands of hours into it, like, hey, I really love like Warframe. Can I play Warframe? I need to know. Do the research on there, ask in the comments below, like, or other people that do videos like me, not just me, like, ask them and see if they can hop on there and just check for you. I don't mind checking if you have like a setting or a game and you want to see it on here. Let me know in the comments. I have no problem firing it up and kind of being like, hey, I can't get it to work on here. So it could be user error on my end, but maybe look into it more. I'm not able to get it working. Same thing with Grand Theft Auto Online. At first it wasn't working, then it was working, then it wasn't working again. So I've had the problem with Grand Theft Auto as well on here, especially with the cloud streaming, like getting into their online service. So if you're looking, for that, like I don't think it works, but it's not a game that I play all the time, so I'm not getting obsessed about finding out, getting down to the nitty-gritty of it. So, kind of keep that in mind. You're going to have some problems with some games, but for the most part, if you're looking to just have like a fun experience like gaming, you'll have access to like a lot of things via cloud streaming, but you'll also have access to the majority of your stuff if you're remote playing from your PS5. Okay. Some people asked if they could use it for like local multiplayer gaming. I'm not really sure what or why. Like, I mean, you could use this to play. Like, I don't think that you can connect from my testing. I wasn't able to have anybody else like using my profile on the PlayStation. So I was able to launch into my profile and remote play. But as soon as my daughter tried to get on the PlayStation, not possible. So you can't do that. And the same thing with but with cloud streaming, I believe I'm able to cloud stream on my own profile, but nobody can use my profile. Once you go to start launch a game that requires PlayStation Network access, I believe it'll kick you off of the cloud streaming if you're on your PlayStation. So keep that in mind if you do have other people in the house that like using the same profile. I have my daughters like to play the PlayStation every now and then and play some of those games like Sackboy and things. So, if that is a big thing in your house, be aware of that. Don't get into games that aren't auto-saving or something. So is the PlayStation Portal worth the investment? A lot of people say compared to other streaming solutions. What type of gamer are you and where are you sitting at in your life right now? So for instance, a little about me, I'm in my mid 30s now, like smack dab in the middle. I just hit 35 in January, and I've got 5 kids. Two of which are they're twin boys that drive me crazy, and I love them to death. And they're 18 months old, so they are everywhere, all at once, all the time. And they, it's something that is really really nice about being able to pick this up and just throw on a game, especially since I've invested so many years into the Sony ecosystem that it's really hard to refute the ability to just pop on and play PlayStation for games that I've spent thousands of hours on, like Elden Ring. I'm like, let me do another playthrough. Let me just hop on for a few minutes. This has made that possible. But there are other devices. If you already have a Steam Deck, you can get things like Chiaki and have an amazing experience on here. You can get, Game Pass. If you've already got a Steam Deck, or you're thinking about a Steam Deck and you want to, just tiptoe into you could probably get an LCD model for, relatively cheap, right? You could probably get one for like $300, $200, depending on the used market, right? And you'll have a pretty good time on there. The great thing about Steam Deck is that, right? But the Steam Deck is for if you're into tinkering, because it can be a headache. There's days where I'm like, okay, Chiaki's great. What's wrong? Oh, wait a minute. What's wrong with Chiaki? It's not working. Or like having to get Xbox Game Pass on here. Will it get better in the future? For sure. Is Xbox Game Pass, like cloud gaming, way better than the PlayStation Portal one, or PlayStation in general? 100%. Like the fact that, off on a slight tangent, like the fact that Sony is like, I'm pretty sure it's like worth billions of dollars. Like Sony is a big, robust company. They're worth a lot of money. You're telling me that nobody at Sony was able to pick up the phone and download a free trial of Xbox Game Pass and to just look at like what their library looks like? Not even the game library, the user interface. The user interface on the Xbox cloud gaming, like just look at this compared to this. So that is something that I think that everybody should take into consideration when they're looking at these things. Like, for instance, I can't even get back right now. Okay. So yeah, this is the cloud streaming beta for Sony, and people, like, there's really no defense of this. Like, Sony's a billion-dollar corporation, let's say. Like, even if they're hundreds of millions, right? Like, it's still a ton of money, right? Whatever they're worth, this is the user experience on the cloud streaming. You open it up, and hey, you've got a library of games. Like, I feel like I'm on the PlayStation 3's like PlayStation Store. Like, this is insane. Like, or there should be a search function, whereas like Sony, there is a search function up here. You're able to connect other devices to it. You're able to like play from other games. Like there's options you can go through. There's categories. There's new added. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you can get like on there. To where I don't understand why Sony hasn't done that. So that's my biggest gripe. And the fact that like you can't even sort categories on the portal itself. Somebody told me that you're able to go in there and sort your cloud streaming profiles from on the PlayStation itself, and you can like sort through them that way, and you can kind of change the order of the games and stuff, and maybe put them alphabetically or something. But isn't that kind of insane? That where if you already have a $500 PlayStation, then you get a $200 device, why isn't it just done for you? And then you're also paying $100, $115, $120 a year for the streaming service. It needs to be done, and it needs to be better. That's something that should. Sony's feet need to be held to the fire for, because it is ridiculous that they haven't been able to do that. And technically, yeah, Xbox has been out longer, but this says beta too, and so does this. And everybody anywhere can see that like there's a way to just have a much better streamed situation, right? But anyway, I digress. If you're a techie kind of guy, and it's guy or gal, it's 2025. I'm not going to judge who is gaming what. I enjoy your games. But if you have like, you're into handheld consoles and stuff like that, like then, this might not be for you, because if you like tinkering, and tinkering is some of the fun part about it, get a Steam Deck, get the, the ROG Ally X, get a Legion Go. This is the Steam Deck OLED. I like tinkering, but there are days where it's a nightmare that when something goes wrong, or a program's not working, there's an update somewhere, one of the apps that you have in here is updated, and you're trying to figure out what it is, trying to figure out the workarounds, trying to find compatibility layers. Huge nightmare, right? But if you're in Sony's, ecosystem, you've got games already on there, and you just want to be able to pick one of these up. Like I've got the white one upstairs, for instance, and I got the black one downstairs. So at any point I could be like, oh, let me grab, and I jump onto a game, and I'm sitting there and I'm playing a game that I'm enjoying, right? Like, and you just bam into the game again, and you can't beat that. I think for where gaming is nowadays, there's so many things vying for your attention. There's so many like big corporations that are trying to make shinier and, like more live servicey things, being able to just hop on here and play older games that I really enjoy, or storied like single player experiences that I've never played before. You're going to have a hard time beating that whenever it's like, look at this. Like, I'm like, oh man, I really wanted to try out that game. Let me try that game out now. So, it could be definitely for you. So kind of weigh your options where you are in life. For me as a dad, this is a no-brainer. It was a nice, easy pickup that I can just get back into it. I've already invested so much in Sony. If I had been a console gamer for the past 10 years and I didn't have a single Sony game, it wouldn't be for me. If I was an Xbox person, I had no Sony games, I had no PlayStation, anything, no, don't get it. It's not worth it. But if you're interested in trying this thing out with the Xbox games that are coming to PlayStation and you're thinking about jumping ship, yeah, check it out. If you have the ability to do it, you're not going to regret it, I don't think. And if you do regret it, that's what return policies are for, man. Like, I mean, it's simple enough. Grab it from Best Buy, open box even. You can get it for relatively cheap. Get it on Marketplace for relatively cheap. I'm in the game having fun. Is there latency issues with some of the stuff? Yeah, for sure. Like, there's latency issues. But whenever I'm playing the game, like, and it's like, this close, the 8-inch LCD is really nice too. No brainer. Pick it up. But anyway, I'm not going to keep the video any longer than this. I actually re-recorded this one to keep it under 30 minutes because I was rambling so much. But thank you guys so much for everybody that's been subscribing. We shot up to like 12,000 subscribers like very quickly, so that was super jarring because I don't know what I'm doing at all, as you can tell in these videos. And I'm just kind of talking and stuff like that. But I want to do some other series too where I do some things like playing games I've never played before, using this PS5 Pro and trying to get some use out of this thing. So I want to check out games like Bloodborne, replaying like Liza P on my Steam Deck actually. And using these awesome VR glasses that are really fantastic. I'm going to talk about in future videos. I'm really excited about. There's a lot of cool people that have sent me some stuff. We want to talk about that on the channel and talk about some more Switch related stuff. But yeah, I just want to talk about more about gaming, gaming life in general, gaming life as a dad, gaming, what games I'm into nowadays and what we really like, maybe some review some games. So if you guys are interested in more of that kind of stuff or following along the journey of like discovering Bloodborne for the first time, I just accidentally killed the cleric beast, not realizing that was the cleric beast. Or realizing it was a boss that I stumbled into. So yeah, I've watched other people play through parts of Bloodborne, so I'm excited to check it out. And maybe I've never played Sekiro either, so that's something that I'm interested in too. So if you guys want to follow along on the channel, that'd be a lot of fun. We can talk in the comments, maybe do some live streams with it. Let me know what you guys want to see more of. If you guys want to see more stuff like tinkering, taking things apart with these consoles, if you want to see more stuff about the Steam Deck, more stuff about the ROG Ally X, the PlayStation Portal. I just don't want to beat a dead horse with the Portal anymore. It's good. It streams. Get it if you like it. Same thing with the Switch. Switch 2 comes out. I want to talk more about that. Let me know what you guys want to see more of. I appreciate everybody that's come along on this journey so far. It's crazy. We hit 12K so fast. You guys are amazing. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to try and keep bringing content you guys like and enjoy and that I'm having fun making. Just trying to be genuine with my experience with these things. So I'm going to end it now. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Everybody that hits the like, subscribe, and share, it means so much to me. And yeah, I'll keep making videos if you guys want to keep watching them. Thanks again. You guys have a good one.